from the bad guy. I'ma stare him in the eye like, what's up?
Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to another day of my story, my strength 365-day challenge. I just want to thank you. It's been about a month and a half. Today is a sad day. It's the guy who raised him today is his birthday, so I love you, my dad, Leroy. Love you. So it took a lot for me to even do this right now, but it's okay because we pushed through, which is exactly what I started this for, to let everyone see that, like I said, healing is not easy. It's always something. It's always going to be something that might tempt you to push your healing back another day or to accept this when sometimes you just got to dig your feet in and just deal with the hard when it comes and process it as best as you can. So thank you again for tuning in. So I'm going to always give all of my people a trigger warning before watching. This episode contains emotionally intense content involving gaslighting, emotional manipulation, grief after the loss of a child, abandonment, partner invalidation. This story includes themes of mental distress, suicidal thoughts, and deeply painful relational trauma. This may especially be triggering for survivors of domestic violence or those who are currently navigating emotionally abusive relationships. So viewer discretion is strongly advised. And please, I would like for you to make sure that you prioritize your mental health and your own emotional well-being, yours, not anyone else's, including mine. And feel free to pause, leave, come back if you need to. If anything becomes emotionally overwhelming or just overwhelming in general, you are welcome to do whatever you need to do to keep yourself safe. You are not alone and your feelings are valid. So, gaslighting is one of the worst parts of abuse to me. Physical abuse is really bad, and I've gone through a lot of stuff, but gaslighting is I'm gonna say it's up there in the top 5. It has you questioning yourself. Am I being extra? Am I doing too much? This memory that I'm going to focus on today talks about a time when I asked for a boundary and was made to feel like I was wrong for asking for my needs to be respected. So I was extremely gaslit. So it was about a couple of weeks, not even a month after my son passed away, and we've been put out of my so-called friend's house, and we stayed with his cousin for about a week, and that didn't work out. So it was leaving me stressing out, trying to find a place to stay where I felt safe with my children, and not like we were living in some condemned VACO or a crack house or anywhere where, again, I wanted to find somewhere safe. So I had literally hours to find somewhere for me and my children. And when we were I did that. I found us a place. It wasn't the Ritz-Carlton or something fancy smancy, but it was very nice and comfortable for what we needed. We were finally all moved into this extended stay motel, and my kids were upstairs in the room. They were resting. I just bought my partner a car because I had my own car. I bought him a car, and we were sitting in his car smoking a blunt, trying to relax. Because yes, again, I am 420 friendly. I am not ashamed. 420, you guys. I don't know what my hands were trying to do. I was just trying to relax. His at the time wife, because they were still technically legally married, she was texting him all fucking day about a car that she wanted to buy. For this car, this car, that. And, I let it go. Whatever. Okay. It's not anything bad. She's not trying to get back with him that I know of. So I kind of kept my feelings to myself. But it was getting kind of late. And again, she's texting him, and he's putting all his energy into responding to these text messages and letting that take his focus off of what was in front of him, which was me, these kids, and us trying to get all our stuff moved in, get settled into this place. I was already upset that, he hid his relationship from her and from his daughter, who still didn't even know that we existed at this time. So it's like, okay, this woman found out about me literally the month before period. She didn't know anything about me. She thought she knew he was doing his thing. They had been separated for years. He lived in Alaska for 2 years. She lived in Missouri. So I'm pretty comfortable to feel like the relationship was over, because we were living together. Honestly, I think he was in Alaska for 3 years. We lived together for 2 of those 3 years that he lived in Alaska, or at least 2.5, something like that. But the majority of the time I was in the picture, yet she didn't know anything about me. So I was just like, okay. He was telling me that she was telling me everything that she was talking about, showing me the text. So it wasn't any of him hiding communication, but I was talking about mourning my son at this time. Okay, it's like 10 something at night. My son hadn't been gone a month, so I'm crying. I'm needing him. He's the only person I have at this time. And he's so focused in his phone and about the car she's buying, he's not even paying attention to what I'm saying. He's overlooking what I'm talking about. So I kind of snap. I'm like, hey, what is going on that she's texting you this late at night? He says, well, she's just telling me about the car. She got the car, whatever. And I'm like, well, can you ask her if she can stop texting so late? Is that not something that she can not tell you in the morning? So he turns to me with open anger and aggression. And he says, she's just telling me that she got approved for the car. She's waiting for the car, and just talking to me about the payments or whatever, X, Y, Z. And I told him, again, I understand that she's excited, but I still don't understand why this can't wait till in the morning. And I said, I said, if it was about your daughter or an emergency, I'd probably be more understanding, but she needs to respect the boundaries and that he's in a relationship. And she can't just text him at 10:30, 11 o'clock, or do whatever she wants. She has to respect the situation. And she never did this before. Now, mind you, I've been with this man for years now. And, well, technically, whatever you want to call it, but we've been living together for years, and she's never texting him all hours of the night and all this. So when she finds out about me, because she knew about me at this point, now you want to text him in the middle of the night. He said she is texting me about my daughter because the car that she has will be used to drive my daughter around. And I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not buying that. Again, that's not something. She's not talking specifically about your daughter. Like, can she just respect these boundaries? And I told him that it wasn't the same. And he yelled at me and screamed, she's my wife. She can text me whenever she wants. I just broke down. I started crying. I told him that he was wrong to say that to me. And he just kept shooting back about how I'm wrong for trying to put restrictions on him communicating with the mother of his child. I didn't know what to say. Again, I'm in his hometown, no family, no friends, just my 2 minor children and him. And at that moment, all I wanted to do was just die. I just wanted to die. I had not a single care. He had not a single care for how his actions made me feel and how I was starting to feel like a mistress that was invading his marriage. Like, hello, you told me the only reason why you guys were even still married was out of the sake for your daughter, but that you guys have been separated for over 8 years, maybe 9. I'm giving it, it's like, no, about 9 years. Because his daughter was only 2 when they separated, and she was now 11. So you haven't been with this woman in 9 years. Why is this an issue? And why are you trying to throw your marriage in my face? I did not know how to manage. I couldn't breathe. I felt like he respected her more than me, like her voice mattered more than mine. And yet I was the one who showed up for him time and time again. I was the one who literally just bought him that car, the one who helped him when he had no place to go. And he argued with me over and over until I just stopped. I was too tired. I went to bed. And I think he eventually did tell her, hey, don't be texting me, don't, whatever he said to her, because she didn't do that after that. After that night, her texting him stopped. As well, texting him after hours stopped. And it eventually got to the point where I had to ask him if it wasn't about their daughter, because she's texting him about her personal life. No, whatever is going on with your personal life She just kept being more evasive in our relationship. He eventually had to tell her, if it's not about our daughter, let's just keep our communication limited until we work this out. But I'll never forget what it took just to feel worthy of basic respect. So I identified the wound. I guess I kind of expressed some of that already, but that experience planted something deep inside of me, a belief that my pain didn't matter unless it benefited someone else. I started to believe that my grief, my boundaries, my voice were all secondary to anyone else, unless it convenienced him or his ego. The louder my heart screamed for recognition, the more I was told I was too much, too sensitive, too selfish. I was a burden, but I just wanted space to grieve. I internalized that the lie that I was asking for too much by simply wanting to be treated like I mattered. It made me question if I had the right to even speak, to ask for respect, to exist in a relationship where if my grief was not seen, my grief was not seen through. They kind of just he overlooked what I was dealing with. I felt like I was disposable. And I felt like even after everything I gave, I was still not worthy. So, reflection question. When was the last time you were made to feel like your pain was inconvenient for someone else? What boundaries have you been afraid to express because you're worried that they'll be used against you? So, that's something that you should ask yourself. And the mindset that it made for me, the negative mindset it created, was that I believed that asking for respect made me a burden, that needing emotional support meant I was weak, clingy, or too much, which actually were things that were literally told to me. I was clingy. No, I was sad, So I had to reframe that. To tell myself I am allowed to need. I am allowed to speak. And I am worthy of being held and loved and respected and having my boundaries respected. So the affirmation that I have for that is my grief is not dramatic. My voice is not too loud. I deserve tenderness even when I'm at my lowest. Especially when we're at our lowest, you guys, we have to take care of us. So here's the mini session. The coping skill is grounding with object reclamation. This is a tool designed to help you reclaim your power by using a physical item, a small object that will represent your right to be respected. Choose an object that you can keep with you on a daily basis. Punch holder. You can wrap it around your wrist and wear it as a bracelet. Hey, or an actual bracelet, you guys. This is just the closest thing that was by me. Hold it and speak into it the boundary that you were made feel guilty for. I deserve to be heard. I have the right to ask for space. I am not too much. I have the right to ask for respect. I am not too much. And carry this object around with you. Anytime you feel dismissed, questioned, or just overlooked, you squeeze it and you say it in your head, what you deserve, your affirmation. Every night for the next 7 days, hold that object before bed and say one thing that made you feel valid that day. That becomes your daily reclamation of ritual. That will become your daily reclamation ritual. Today, I feel valid because I expressed a boundary that I needed to be respected. I asserted my voice. And be proud of that. Because we are not crazy for wanting respect. We're not. We're reclaiming what we were always worthy of. So here's our 1 minute empowerment challenge. It's called the boundary challenge. Choose one boundary you're afraid to express because you thought it would cost you love. Write it in a statement that starts with I will no longer or I deserve. Then read it out loud. Not to your abuser, not to the world, but to yourself. and read it with conviction, read it with courage. Then record a voice memo of it and save it in your phone as a reminder of your power. Bonus, bonus, bonus. If you're ready, if you're ready, text this to someone who has disrespected your boundary before. This is your power being spoken, not shaken. Like, for example, I will no longer silence myself to make someone else happy. I deserve to be happy and have my feelings be just as important as anyone else's. Those are examples, and those are actually my feelings. So, Survivor Spotlight. So I'm sharing my age. A lot of people in my age category will probably know this, but the person that I'm going to be speaking about is Michel'le, which I didn't even know at the time that she was going through this, which that's normally the case. But Michel'le, she had a voice that has always been unmistakable and angelic. She had a piercing, high-pitched voice when she spoke and a powerful, soulful voice when she sang. But behind her one-of-a-kind voice was a woman silenced for years by unimaginable trauma. Born in 1970, Michel'le entered the music industry as a teenager, quickly becoming known for her collaborations with Ruthless Records and NWA. Her breakout single, No More Lies, wasn't just a hit, it was a cry for truth in a world full of secrets. While her records soared behind the scenes, she was enduring one of the most horrifying and silenced stories of abuse in the male domination world of hip hop. Michel'le entered a relationship with legendary producer Dr. Dre during his rise of NWA, and while the world saw a glamorous couple, Michel'le was suffering in silence. She has since revealed that Dr. Dre physically assaulted her numerous times, broke her nose, blackened her eyes, and even shot at her. Yet the abuse was kept hidden. It was kept hidden for decades and decades and decades until her movie came out. Well, that's when I found out about it. It was when her movie came out, and I was like, oh my goodness, I didn't know this. He was controlling, emotionally cold, and used his power in the industry to make her feel invisible and voices, even though that woman's voice, if you are younger in the younger generation and you've never heard of her, look her up. Michel'le, Michel apostrophe or hyphen or whatever you call it, LE. That woman's voice is something new that is for the records, I'm telling you. But after surviving years with Dr. Dre, she later became involved with none other than, and I'm sure that we all know who this is, Suge Knight. Yes, that's Suge Knight, the CEO of Death Row Records, only to endure another round of emotional manipulation and intimidation. Though Suge was not physically violent towards her in the same way, his control, deception, and emotional neglect were crushingly similar. Later, she discovered that their marriage was never even legally binding. Another betrayal in a long pattern of gaslighting, objectification, and emotional abandonment. During these years, Michel'le sank into addiction, self-doubt, and suicidal depression. The industry that praised her vocals refused to protect her. She began to believe that the abuse was simply the price of her love. Her self-esteem plummeted, and she went nearly 13 years without releasing another album, all while raising her children alone. One by Dr. Dre, one by Suge Knight, raising them alone and fighting to reclaim her voice, not just artistically, but spiritually. But Michel'le did what few dare to do. She finally spoke out. In 2016, she was the executive producer, and she starred in the Lifetime biopic Surviving Compton, which is the movie that I was telling you guys about. Surviving Compton, Dre, Suge, and Michel'le. The film didn't just tell her truth, it exposed the industry's silence. It ripped the lid off the sanitized narratives that had erased her from her trauma for years. And for the very first time, the world saw Michel'le not as a singer, but as a survivor. Her courage is in naming her abuse, especially against two of the most powerful men in hip hop. And because of that, she paved the way for conversations about narcissistic abuse, gaslighting, and intimate partner violence within Black communities and the music industry. She has since continued to speak, mentor, and advocate, especially for Black women who are conditioned to protect their abusers by name of loyalty or love. Miss Chale's voice is no longer just a melody; it's a weapon of truth. She survived brutal physical violence, emotional degradation, public erasure, and narcissistic manipulation at the hands of men the world applauded. But instead of letting this destroy her, she brought the pain. She brought the pain and she put it into the light for everyone to see, even if it meant that she had to stand alone. Michelle A's story is not about brokenness, it's about bold reclamation. She reclaimed her name, she reclaimed her narrative, and she reclaimed her worth, even though she's always been worthy to me. I love that woman. I'm a huge fan. She reminds us that survival isn't just about escaping, it's about choosing to speak even when your voice shakes, even when you're terrified. She still chose to speak. So Miss Michelle, thank you so much for daring to name the abuse that so many endured in silence. Thank you for standing tall in the industry that tried to mute you against some very powerful people, because I know that wasn't easy. Thank you for reminding us that survival sometimes means walking away from everything just to find yourself. You gave a voice to pain, and then you used that voice to break cycles for the next generation. We see you, we believe you, and we honor you. Thank you so much. So if today's story moves something in you, please subscribe to Finding Voices, Empowered Voices, Finding Strength in Survivors, to hear more of these raw daily truths. You could also join me on my podcast every Friday, Insights of a Survivor, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. This Friday will be my solo week. You can also catch my collab series, Raw and Real, with All Love, airing the last Saturday of each month, 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. I'm going to look up that date in my next live tomorrow. I'm going to give you a date for that. And don't miss the Kiss Corner every Sunday. If you missed it yesterday, go watch it on my replay. 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we explore generational healing, truth-telling, and emotional freedom. Also, anyone out there listening, hearing, whether it's live or in replay, know that we would love to make a difference in the world, but we can't do this alone. So this is the point where I'm asking for donations to help grow this revolution of healing. I have so many projects that I have my hands on, so many retreats, so many summits, so many activities that I have and am going to continue to bring to the table. I have a collaboration with another beautiful woman who is in this healing journey, this healing community herself. And we have so many things that we're going to be bringing to you all. And we can't do that without your support. So I have my website and my link tree in the description today, and I'll be having it from now on in all of my descriptions. And if any of you feel inclined to sponsor or to donate, please don't hesitate. Click that link, find the ways, and there's a link inside of that link for you to find the area where you could donate to help us reach those who are still fighting to find their voice, to help us touch communities that want to lead but don't have the support, because I also really am trying to make sure that I have resources for families, not just where I can send them, but where I could think that I could provide for them, to offer them any type of help getting out of a domestically violent or any type of other traumatic situation. So anything, it could be from a penny to $1 million. I'm not, if you do that, please let me know. But anything helps. Seriously, I joke a lot, but really anything helps. This can help me be for someone what I wish someone would have been for me when I was going through my trauma, when I was trying to get out of my situation, when I had no one to turn to, when everyone was telling me they were out of funding, when everyone was telling me they didn't have any beds for me or my children, when I had to stay in a very unsafe situation because of lack of support. I want to be that person who can say, yes, I can help you. Yes, I have something to do available for you. Yes, I can put you in a hotel for a week until we find something better for you. But I can't do that without the help of this community. So anyone who feels inclined to, please, my link to my website and to my link tree is in the description. So click that link and make a difference tonight. And remember, you are not invisible. You are not too much. You're not invisible, and you are not broken beyond repair. Your story does not end in pain. You guys know this. It begins in power. I will see you guys tomorrow for another powerful day of healing. I love you all. Stay strong.
Heard you looking for a hero. Well, look up. No more running from the bad guy. I'ma stare him in the eye like, what's up? I know the journey got hard for a minute, but I ain't giving this up. Yeah, I got the heart of a champion. If I get knocked down, I get